I can't believe I'm thinking all these different events I'm already going this year with football games. Because of course Birmingham, here's the deal. I'm going with you with spring stock and going to the opening week. I'm going with my dad the next week. 2 weeks in a row I'm going for the league. And now I'm like, Canton, Ohio? Excuse me?
Right.
I'm going to championship and playoffs. I am right down the damn road in retrospect.
Right.
Somewhat. That is driving distance, my friend. And that was the other part of this week too. Like second of 3.
Yeah.
We're already talking championship. Although you want to talk about how this came to be, because that was part of it. I think a lot of people knew and were accepting of this. I was actually kind of surprised. I was waiting for some people to more to give blowback on it. But people, I think, went, this is kind of cool because for those that, if you're watching this and aren't aware, Canton, Ohio is pretty damn historic in terms of football in general. Ohio is really the state where the NFL was originated from. So, at least its beginnings grew out of. So, you kind of get the Hall of Fame right in the backdrop, where they play the Hall of Fame game every year at Hall of Fame Village, and Tom Wilson Stadium there. It's it's kind of cool. The World Games are the reason why, but the venue makes up for so much of what could have been bad pub for moving it.
Well, and here's the thing, actually, because I think it even gets misconstrued that it was moved. They've known about this. Both parties have known about this. And so, again, according to Roy S. Scott, Roy S. Johnson, I'm sorry. I don't know where I got Scott from.
Yeah, Alabama.com. Yeah. Thank you for that, by the way.
So he put in there that was almost one of the sticking points that stopped the deal from going on. So realistically, they've known about this for a long time. This isn't like a shock. It wasn't like the Birmingham City Council woke up and saw the news and said, "What? What happened?" Right? No, this has been around. Now, again, the USFL is doing ththings not only right but cool. Right?
Yes.
Again, utilizing in a situation, we have to have a central hub. Well, they're doing it somewhere. I think that's smart. You're going to have, I think, a lot of rabid fans, and the temperature is good. And then you're stuck in a not so great situation. Well, you're starting off the season historically with a simulcast. Why not end it off historically as well at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium?
I said Wilson, it's Benson. But yes, absolutely. I mean, the site's great. Again, all the NFL legends, and even there is a little bit of USFL memorabilia in there. I'll admit, although I understand there's some people that are going, football Hall of Fame. It's not the NFL Hall of Fame. Nonetheless, the backdrop of it is cool. The USFL in its original iteration, and even now with this new one, it's technically part of the history of the game.
Right.
So you're honoring that with a new adventure into this sport with going there. And also for the Village, they're probably ecstatic because we get more business all of a sudden. Yeah. And this is all the positives, of course, for Canton. We know with Alabama and Birmingham in particular, folks are going to be a little slighted. But again, the World Games, there was a 4-day gap to get ready.
Right.
And the World Games they're not exactly at the level of the Olympics, but they bring a lot of economic impact in. Mm-hmm. This was a big deal. And the fact that the USFL even got things organized with also the city of Birmingham saying, we got this to do too in the summer, you realize, right?
Right.
We still have to pull that off and get everything to where it looks professional. That's nice. Like they're going to fulfill their arrangement too. So I feel that, no bad blood, everything was understood, and they're still going to be able to hype up the city, much as the league has been saying, even when they had the protective stadium announcement, that the world still will have its eyes on Birmingham, Alabama for that long stretch of the season, for that 10 weeks that they get.
Yeah, 10 weeks. Plus, again, we're forgetting about, but there's also training camps. There's still a lot of money being pumped into that city prior to, right? For instance, I don't know. I don't want to say I would never travel to Birmingham, Alabama, but I don't know if I would ever have a reason to, but I am. We're spending money. We're going to be spending money on food. We're going to be spending money on drinks, and we're going to be spending money on hotels, and beyond all of the money that the league itself is going to be bringing. I think it works out for all parties. And now in Canton's situation, like you mentioned, what would they be doing with that stadium? in July anyway? Absolutely nothing. So you might as well get some extra business. And quite honestly, and this is something I thought they might get dinged on, but I really love the idea. There's an absolute chance, like there's no way that it can't be a neutral location. Nobody's going to have a home team advantage here. The Pittsburgh team, I think, is a little close.
That's not far at all.
Yeah.
I mean, from Cleveland, it's 2.5, 3 hours. I've done the drive once. That's reasonable. And Canton's even more. It's even closer to more central-ish Ohio. It's north central, like northeast.
It's a weird
northeast Ohio.
spot of Ohio. I had to look it up.
It's not far.
Yeah.
It's not far. Like it's a pretty direct. I mean, the Panthers fans out there, which that fan base is rabid. It is driving so much traffic for the league. That's not far from Detroit. The Detroit metro area is maybe, again, I live 4 to 5 hours from Indianapolis.
I think it's like 4.5.
It's about the similar distance when you're right on Lake Erie there. They're going to come over too. Now that they have that, and maybe you even, and this is just me, if the Stallions make it, you have a fan base that's growing in Birmingham. My thing is you might have some of the Rabbit fans that come up from, Birmingham, Alabama, depending on how the season goes.
I'll tell you this. You're definitely going to have fans flying in from out of state, no matter who the team is. And I'll tell you this, and for this reason only, when I went to the Spring League Mega Bowl, I ran into a fan that flew in from St. Louis just to see the game. Didn't know anybody there, wasn't family or friends or anything like that. So if somebody's going to fly out to the Spring League Mega Bowl, yes. And especially for the experience, because, if you're flying out to the USFL, I'd say there's a pretty dang high chance that you're a fan of football. And you can wrap in that Hall of Fame. I mean, I've been to the Hall of Fame, but it wasn't since I was probably like 13. I can't wait to go back to the Football Hall of Fame. Beyond all the new things that are in there, I can't remember a majority of the things that I saw, right? And I know there's a lot of people that maybe in Birmingham that maybe never had a reason to go to a Canton, Ohio. Now they can kind of wrap in a little football vacation into this event, which I'll tell you, Zach, you saw it. I, no joke, rented a football-themed house on Airbnb for what we're calling summer stock. It was only natural. Thanks to the Discord, I'm a jerk that I didn't. It's the guy that likes the Breakers. I can't remember your username. We'll remember it for the next show. But anyway, come out to summer stock as well, because I'll tell you this. Yes, we are not even to spring stock yet, but summer stock, day before the game. So the game's the 3rd. The championship game's the 3rd. The 2nd, we got to do a group tour of the Hall of Fame, right? A USFL podcast tour, a summer stock tour. So again, we'll keep you posted, but then summer stock, I mean, we're so far out from where summer stock is, but you and I, we were already talking about maybe potential partners for that event. So we're making these events fun. We're making them big. The party's in the parking lot. Sorry, I had to divert. So we talked about the championship games on the 3rd, but we didn't. I skipped the playoffs. But so it's both the playoffs and the championship. Playoffs are the 25th, so we get both games. Then we ride right into the 3rd, which I don't know about you, Zach. I don't know if there's anything more American, maybe other than baseball and hot dogs on 4th of July weekend than football and hot dogs.
That's what they've been hyping up with the championship, is that it does end on 4th of July weekend. You're going to have people out and about and doing stuff on the weekend anyway. Why not go to a football game? Why not go to one that's, got at least the level that it's trying to be in the USFL? I mean, that's what's nice. I like I said, the venue it fits perfectly for the sport. It is very much if you are making the trip for the love of the game type of thing. And I'm just meaning you just love football in general. That's what they're trying to hype up. That's too cool. And of course, I'm not surprised you picked up a place that fast for us to do that. Because like I told you, I was already as soon as they dropped that announcement officially, I'm like, yeah, whenever they do tickets, I'm booking my tickets to both weekends. I will find my way out there. So it's bound to happen. But yeah, this is great. and seriously, we are going to plan this. I know we do still have spring stock. We are making plans for that. And that is the prime priority at the moment, of course, because of dates.
Right.
But we are doing both. Trust, it is going to happen. We will do 2 of these tailgates, or at least 2 of these live events out there. It's going to be a blast.
It's not just an event. It's a tailgate extravaganza.
It's experience. It's an experience. It's what it is.
So real quick, because there's one thing that we brushed over here real quick, but one thing I do want to talk about with the location. Can I say perfect size? I think they can get 20,000 people into this, at least for the championship game. And then if you do a 2-for-1 on the playoffs, if they're both games are on the 25th, one ticket, both games, I think the USFL could pack the house, at least for the championship here.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about, like, I want to see how they do this with the tickets, because they're talking, like, the regular season's still going to be affordable tickets is what they're saying for pretty much any of the games, like the $10 general admission that they're doing. The championship, I mean, I could, maybe they do it. Again, it's still TV based. They still want to have the TV side of it. So, like, sure, they could say screw it, and maybe they make a deal with, with the Hall of Fame Village and, Tom Benson stadium officials and get that all sorted out. But I mean, hey, maybe it goes the other way. I don't know. Maybe, like, the exposure works out. Best case scenario, maybe they put up the prices a bit more because of the championship. And that's best case for the league, by the way. Best case for the fan is they stick the course. They say it's still about the TV, which if I was to say what Fox does is that they'll say TV numbers matter the most out of this. Filling up the seats will just make it look good for TV.
Right.
So we'll just do it that way. And what would be really great, and I don't know if they'll do this either. This is me completely in a speculation zone type of scenario. What if you do a second simulcast of the championship game? Make it the second big game that NBC and Fox come together, shake their hands, and say, let's make this the best damn championship that we could possibly have at the end of the season. That's the thing. And then add in the fact that you hope that one of those northern teams between Pittsburgh and Michigan get to the championship to draw that crowd from their city. You have a shot.
I think so.
Filling that stadium.
I think so. And I honestly, I had that thought about the simulcast. I don't know if it'll happen. I think it could happen. I think that the fact that we're seeing them do it at the beginning of the year, maybe they cap it off at the end of the year. And more importantly, we're again talking about a holiday weekend. So one thing generally happens on holiday weekends and holiday weeks, there's not a lot of new content. It's not a big news cycle. Nobody wants to put out press releases, really. People are on vacation. They're traveling. So, again, looking back at, like, the XFL, not that this would happen because it's on a Sunday, but, with that where it rolled into Saturday Night Live. That's not going to happen with this game. So, I mean, I think both, or at least NBC in this case, would be more than happy to get that extra viewership and share that ad revenue with Fox rather than run a replay of who knows what or figure skating or because I'll tell you this, the one thing that people will tune in for on the 4th, but it's on the 3rd, but people will tune in on the 4th is that hot dog eating contest. So they're avoiding that competition altogether. The hot dog eating competition. I feel like you weren't paying attention to me. I was expecting a laugh there. And maybe I'm just not as funny as I think.
No. I see what you're doing. I get what you said with the hot dog eating competition. I'm sorry.
That's good.
What I was wanting to clarify because this is me thinking off the cuff, and now I just got this. So my thing with thinking about possibly having this capability of you like simulcasted the grandiose plan, the speculative plan here, NASCAR is shared by both of these companies. They air them between Fox goes from at least this weekend here until the 26th. Meanwhile, NBC, they get them from past the 26th onward for the rest of the year. My point was, where are the broadcasts? NBC's on USA Today or USA Network for their race of Road America on July 3rd. So it wouldn't impact NBC. That means
that's interesting.
What is there? See, you have to think about the other contracts here. That's why I'm checking this, because I know NASCAR, it's not as busy as it used to be, but still, it does bring in dollars for NBC. NBC needs sports content. The USFL kind of is helping fill what they could be needing right now. So that adds more to the fire. What's playing on that date right now? It's definitely not NASCAR. And unless there's other stuff that would preempt it, football would, to me, could be a good play for your Sunday schedule.
I'm liking that's some good recon right there.
Fox Baseball would be the only other thing that handles it, but I think the MLB, they would work it out or something. That's the other thing I'd have to look up. Although the MLB,
that's a whole thing. That's its own thing right now.
Whole different story at that point. So
this is why Ben Verlander's rooting so hard for the Panthers. Right. He's got nothing else going for him in the fall.
These are things you got to think about when you make this. Because again, all these different sports properties, now you're in a whole nother ball game when you're doing April through July like that. So the speculation, that's where I'm putting it. Could happen. You open the dates up right. There it is at that. But it would top off what could be a fantastic weekend of possibilities. And hey, we haven't even talked you would think there's going to be stuff to do that's not even just the Hall of Fame, but like USFL related things in the Village. Like there's a lot of possibilities for cross promotion between these two groups to make this even bigger than just Hall of Fame campus.
Speculation zone.
Sure.
What if we see an expanded USFL display? I mean,
if you wanted to, tell you one thing. If you wanted to get the OG USFL fans on your side even more so than just bringing their teams back, there are some of those historian types that we have talked to, interacted with online, that have made a point that the Hall of Fame, as much as it does honor football, it does have somewhat of a USFL presence. It's not really that big, and it doesn't really honor as much of the alternative leagues as great as it should. Hey, that would be a great PR move if you said, you see some other guys that didn't get like Hall of Fame status, like say a Reggie, like they're not like the Reggie Whites of the world, or like, the Steve Youngs, the Jim Kellys, the Sam Mills who got in this year, and people were clamoring, hey, why are we not talking about him when he was on the Stars?
Right.
That type of stuff. The big players from there, that would be cool. If they can do it, great. Not sure if they would be able to, but hey, maybe with a relationship, if, for example, somehow this is a neutral site game they continue to do, maybe that happens.
For sure.
But again, it's only year one.
Only year one.
Only year one, so that's it.
But I think you're right in your speculation. I think we'll see something extra from the league. I mean, it would only make sense, or even just from the Hall of Fame Village, to where people are going to be there. I mean, case in point, we're flying there. If you look at our Discord, which, by the way, link down below, there's a lot of guys that are like, yes, thank goodness. They're happy that the playoffs aren't in Birmingham because they can actually make it. It is within driving distance. Because the Panthers fans, they come out large. We have a lot of Panthers fans in our Discord that, now we're talking a 4 or 5 hour drive, and even from the UP, you add a couple hours, but it's not 10, right? Or more.
Just having Metro Detroit area, which is where they're petitioning and getting initial talks for stadium discussion anyway. That alone, and that's where you're going to be your main market probably. That alone will help.
Right.
So, even if it's not the Panthers, the hope is that those two markets of Pittsburgh and Detroit sandwiching in between Canton, you can get fans that are they're like, oh my God, it's close.
Right.
I got to check it out. That type of thing.
And it is, again, holiday weekend. If it is affordable, that's something to do. And an important thing too is not on the holiday itself. So now you don't have this debate of, do I grill with the neighbor Bob on the 4th or watch the race, right? Because there's a Coca-Cola 600, Indy 500. Now it's kind of a free day. It's a free day. You're going into a long weekend. And again, if you keep those tickets, I'll even say this, under $25. Under 20 would be better. 10 would be prime. But if you still give them the free children under 15, regardless of that, even if it's 25, boom, you got a winner right there, I think. So we'll see.
Yep. Still all about the TV. Hopefully that allows the tickets to be continuing to be affordable just for those two contests. We'll get more as we get closer. That's all I can tell you. I think that this was overall, even with what could have been a downer, somehow the league came out with a win here.
Right.
And I think that's pretty damn cool.